Hello, everyone. Welcome to Millennium News 24/7 Daily Politics News Update. I am with you, Azreen Abrar, and let us begin with our first news update. President Joe Biden said Friday that he is planning to request more money from Congress to develop another new coronavirus vaccine. As scientists track new waves and hospitalizations arise, though not like before. Officials are already expecting updated COVID-19 vaccines that contain one version of the Omicron strain called XBB 1.5. It's an important change from today's combination shots, which makes the original coronavirus strain with last year's most common Omicron variant. But there will always be a need for updated vaccines as the virus continues to mutate. People should be able to start rolling up their sleeves next month for what officials hope is an annual fall COVID-19 shot. Pfizer, Moderna, and small manufacturer Novavax all are brewing doses of the XBB update, but the Food and Drug Administration will have to sign off on each, and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention must then issue recommendations for their use. Next. Former President Donald Trump and the 18 people indicted along with him in Georgia on charges that they participated in a wide-ranging illegal scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election have all turned themselves into a jail in Atlanta before the deadline at noon Friday. After Trump was booked Thursday evening, scowling at the camera for the first ever mugshot of a former president, 7 co-defendants who had not yet surrendered did so Friday morning. All but one of those charged had agreed to a bond amount and conditions with Fulton County District Fannie Willis ahead of time, and they were free to go after booking. Harrison William Prescott Floyd, who is accused of harassing a Fulton County election worker, did not negotiate a bond ahead of the time and remains in the jail after turning himself in Thursday. Federal court records from Maryland show Floyd, identified as a former U.S. Marine who's active with the group Black Voices for Trump, was also arrested 3 months ago on a federal warrant that accuses him of aggressively confronting 2 FBI agents sent to serve him with a grand jury subpoena. Next news. Republicans on Friday chose Houston to host their 2028 National Convention, hoping to cement support in Texas, even as Democrats are betting that a booming Hispanic population and other key demographic shifts could eventually turn the country's largest reliably red state blue. I'm excited to announce Houston as the host city for the 2028 Republican National Convention, Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel said in a statement. She applauded the committee's smart business decision last spring to allow for selecting the site earlier than ever. Next news. Party of former First Lady Sandra Torres, who lost Guatemala's presidential election this week, filed a complaint Friday alleging fraud in the way the votes were counted. The complaint is the latest attempt to eradicate competition to Guatemala's political elite in one of the most tumultuous elections in the Central American nation's recent history. Torres, a candidate who came to exemplify the political establishment in a country where many people have grown tired of endemic corruption, has remained silent since her loss in Sunday's runoff election and has refused to accept Sunday's results. Next news. The party of former First Lady Sandra Torres, who lost Guatemala's presidential election this week, filed a complaint Friday alleging fraud in the way votes were counted. He complained it's the latest attempt to eradicate competition to Guatemala's political elite in one of the most tumultuous elections in the Central American nation's recent history. A short break from the daily English news of Millennium News 24/7. Stay tuned. Now we'll be back with you again, Azreen Abrar.
Hello everyone, I'm with you, Azreen Abrar, and you are watching American Political News Update. This show can be platformed globally in all platforms, including all smart TV platforms, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and also you can search up www.millenniumnews24.com/live and watch it there as well. Thank you for being with us. I'm again Azreen Abrar, and I hope to see you guys every Saturday. Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Millennium News 24/7 Politics News Update. And as promised, I am back with you, Azreen Abrar, and let us resume. A judge on Friday ruled against Texas' ban on gender-affirming health care for minors, while a separate judge in Missouri let a similar ban take effect, jumbling again where in the U.S. transgender youth can receive treatment. The conflicting decisions handed down 2 hours apart in 2 Republican-led states added to the legal unpredictability that is unfolding nationwide over a historic wave of new laws this year that target LGBTQ+ rights. Underscoring the first changing landscape, Texas swiftly appealed to keep its new restrictions on track to take effect September 1st, when it would become the largest state in the U.S. to enforce a ban on gender-affirming care for minors. Next news. Police would be given the power to remove tents and other makeshift shelters at a Boston intersection that become home to the sprawling encampment for the homeless, many of whom struggle with mental health issues and substance abuse disorder. Mayor Michelle Wu and other city officials announced Friday. The plan calls for a new short-term shelter for up to 30 people in the area known as Mass and Cass. The encampment in the intersection of Massachusetts Avenue and Melnia Cass Boulevard has become a haven for drug use and has become increasingly violent, according to the law enforcement. Next news. A 3-year probe against Lebanon's caretaker prime minister and his family over corruption allegations has been closed by Monaco's judicial authorities for lack of evidence, the premier's office said Friday. Prime Minister Najib Mikati's office said that Morgan Raymond, the deputy public prosecutor in Monaco, told the Lebanese premier's legal team that they have closed the investigation into the case that was raised by unspecified Lebanese plaintiffs on allegations of illicit enrichment and money laundering. Mikati's office said Monaco's decision shows that the case was fake and made for political purposes. It added that Mikati and his family will take legal action against those who are behind these lies and rumors. Next news. Courts nationwide are delivering a mixed verdict on the future of state laws restricting gender-affirming medical care for transgender youth, as legal battles ramp up over the historic wave of bans enacted this year. Judges ruled against bans in Georgia and Texas this week, while Alabama and Missouri can move forward with their restrictions. A ruling on whether to block a Florida law that goes beyond young people and restricts the care for trans adults could also come in the next week. The Virginia legislators who have been leading negotiations over the month's delayed state budget announced Friday that they have reached agreement on the major components of a compromise proposal that would boost education spending and offer some tax relief. The apparent deal includes a one-time tax rebate of $200 for individuals $400 for joint fillers, according to a statement from the negotiators. It would also increase the standard deduction, reinstate a popular sales tax holiday, and allocate more revenue to public education and college financial aid. The statement said, "The actions are aimed at providing relief to low and middle income citizens and Virginia businesses," the negotiators said. The full framework of the proposed legislation, which will need approval from the full General Assembly and Governor, was not released. The statement did not specify the total proposed amounts of tax cuts or spending allocations, and it did not elaborate on any remaining sticking points. Now, a short break from the daily English news of Millennium News 24/7. Stay tuned, and I will be back with you again, Azreen Abrar, to resume.
Hello everyone, I am with you, Azreen Abrar, and you are watching American Political News Update. This show can be platformed globally and all platforms, including all smart TV platforms, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and also you can search up www.millenniumnews24.com/live and watch it there as well. Thank you for being with us. I'm again Azreen Abrar, and I hope to see you guys every Saturday. Thank you.
And as promised, I'm back with you, Azreen. Let us begin. The descendants of a 19th century Scottish sugar and coffee planter who owned thousands of slaves in Guinea apologized Friday for the sins of their ancestors, calling slavery a crime against humanity with lasting negative impacts. Charles Gladstone, a descendant of former plantation owner John Gladstone, traveled to and from Britain with 5 relatives to offer the formal apology. "It is with deep shame and regret that we acknowledge our ancestors' involvement in these crimes, and with heartfelt sincerity we apologize to the descendants of the enslaved," he told an audience at the University of Guyana. "In doing so, we acknowledge slavery's continuing impact on the daily lives of many." Next news. A senior U.S. State Department official on Friday voiced hope that North Macedonia will be able to approve politically difficult constitutional changes that would help its bid to join the European Union. Gabriel Escobar, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Balkan Policy, said during talks at the Capitol that the U.S. strongly backs the country's EU accession bid. North Macedonia has agreed, following pressure from neighboring EU member Bulgaria, to amend its constitution and include Bulgarians in a long list of ethnic groups formerly listed as living in the country. Next news. With the 2024 Mexican presidential election less than a year away, political analysts and academics warn of a wave of fake news and disinformation making the rounds of the internet, a trend they deem especially worrisome, as some of the falsehoods seem to come to the party in power and the president himself. Fake news has long been disseminated during electoral campaigns in Mexico, and the current electoral cycle is far from being the exception. Since June, when Mexico's ruling party Morena and the country's main opposition parties launched their internal proceedings to pick their contenders for the 2024 race, the Associated Press Spanish-language fact-checking team found about 40 fake publications across social media platforms, favoring or discrediting members of both sides of the political spectrum. Next news. The federal appeals court says it will not revive a lawsuit by the family of a Mississippi lawyer who took his own life after he was arrested and accused of providing information to the people who snuck into a nursing home and photographed the ailing wife of a U.S. senator during the contentious election. Images of Rose Cochran, appeared briefly online during the 2024 Republican primary of the U.S. Senate. In a video that accused now deceased Senator Thad Cochran for having an affair while his wife was bedridden with dementia, an accusation that Thad denied. Next news. Vice President Kamala Harris led a White House celebration Friday for the 2022 WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces, praising the team for its grit and determination on the court and ferocious advocacy and supporting of colleagues Brittany Griner during her detention in Russia last year. The Aces defeated the Connecticut Sun 78-71 in Game 4 of the finals to win the championship trophy 3-1, along with what's become a traditional invitation to the White House. It was only 5 years ago that this franchise moved to Las Vegas, and now they are the first major professional sports team in Nevada history to win a championship, and that's because this team defines grit and determination, Harris said. This was in the Politics News Update of Millennium News 24/7. Log in to get the latest news all our social networking sites: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok is Millennium News 24. Also, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Viewers now on both network broadcasting Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, also all smart TV platforms. Please enjoy our entertainment and latest news and views. Our Millennium TV app, Millennium TV USA Android, Millennium News Google, www.millenniumtv24.com. Stay tuned, and I will be back with you again next Saturday. Azreen Abrar.